Hi, okay, we're on video number 5, and I knew this was gonna take a lot of videos, so I'm sorry because I've really just started on the story about the lupus. I mean, the last 2 videos was geared towards more some complications that I had rather than the actual lupus itself. But it's a part of my story, and to me it's a big part, so I hope you just bear with me and, listen to them, and somebody might learn from them. I mean, it was an experience, so I hope it was a valuable experience and that, somebody learns. Also, I hope I didn't offend anybody when I crossed my eyes in the last video, but that's really how my eyes are doing when they get tired. So I didn't do it as an offense. It was a joke to myself, so I'm sorry if I did offend anybody. So I'm talking about the lupus now. The first year, we thought we were dealing with multiple sclerosis, but, they did MRIs, and all my MRIs came back normal. They did, every kind of testing possible. They had even already started me on Rebif, which is an injection drug for MS. That was immediate that they started me on that. So, I was receiving treatment and going to every doctor possible. And, and they were all coming up questioning, is this MS? And the more my husband and I researched it, the more I knew it was not MS. It's just like, we're not, it's something, but it's not MS. And a couple of times, lupus came up, and it's just like, well, is it, lupus? Could it be lupus? We'd read, symptoms and diagnoses and stuff, and, it crossed the path a couple of times, but it never, it was just fleeting. They sent me to a rheumatologist, my own doctor, the one that finally, got my sepsis and infection all under control. He sent me to a rheumatologist. However, this rheumatologist, oh man, he was old school, and the criteria for how they treat lupus and diagnose it now, it came out in the 1980s, and he told me he didn't go by that because he didn't, believe that's how it was, and that he would, if I had lupus, which he knew I didn't, that he would treat it only with Plaquenil, that I could not expect to get any other medications out of him. So it's like that, this man must have had some bad experiences, and but I mean, it was incredible just how, I mean, his bedside manner was, and but you know, I told my husband, okay, I'm going to go to him a couple of times more and just, we'll see how it goes. We'll see if I get any better. And he kept me on the Plaquenil for a month and just said, oh, well, that didn't help. And also when I was in the hospital with the optic neuritis, they also did high-dose steroids on me. And so, like, I was swollen up really big then also. That was my first round of high-dose steroids, and I've had a couple of more since then. And so I was having problems getting my steroids under control and the levels, and he did the cortisol test on me, where you go in and they put an IV in, and they take your blood, and then they give you a stimulant to stimulate your adrenal glands, and then they test your blood like every 30, 60, 90 minutes and see if your adrenal glands release the cortisone, or what our body naturally releases, and mine was 0. Those high-dose steroids just shut down my adrenal glands, and it surprised him that that was the case. And so then he didn't like it that he was going to have to treat me with replacement steroids. And at that point, I told my husband, we need to find a new doctor. This was over that entire year. I said, we need to find a new doctor. We researched and we decided that it did need to be a rheumatologist. I already was under the care of an endocrinologist, and I had already been seeing her for years and just love her. She's like the best endocrinologist, and she took on handling my adrenal glands, which rightfully so she should, because I believe they're a part of your endocrine system. I might be wrong. But, she took all that under control. She recommended the rheumatologist to me that I go to now. The clinic, they're wonderful. They're top in the nation. And my rheumatologist, she treats medicine as a science and as an art. And that's exactly what my endocrinologist does. And they listen to the patient. They do not just go by what comes back on the blood work, and that's what it is. And I believe, I'm receiving excellent care all the way around. And then, so that is video number 5. I'm going to stop, and then I'll start with my first appointment with my rheumatologist who diagnosed my lupus, and we'll go from there, what my treatment's been and what has happened over the last 6 years. I'm sorry this has taken so long. I hope it's keeping your interest and we're learning, and I'm remembering things as I go along, so hopefully I might have to backtrack and it'll just make things longer. But I hope we're learning. See you next time.